So that recording will be made available later on our YouTube channel. So if you want to come back in and check on anything you might miss taking notes on the first time around, you'll have that opportunity. And we're going to have an introduction to why eating organic is so critical for health and environment. And Luke is joining us from the Natural Grocers over across from the South Glen Shopping Center. I will turn it over to him.
Perfect. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction on myself, and then I'll turn off the video and we'll get started. So my name is Luke, and I'm over at the Cherry Knolls location, like Claire said, across from the South Glen Mall on University and Arapahoe. And I've been with the company for 5 years. I have a bachelor's degree with adult fitness at Metro State, and then I also went to the Nutrition Therapy Institute and got certified as a nutrition therapy practitioner. And there's really a lot of reasons why I love my job. The biggest one is providing nutrition education like this class to empower those seeking change in diet, lifestyle. I think it's so rewarding to be able to help someone through that journey, to empower them, to educate them. The more you're educated, the more you can make those informed decisions and find the best route for you, because everyone's going to be different. Everything's going to affect people differently, foods, supplements. So to be better informed is really critical for everyone's health. So it's really rewarding to be a part of that journey for everybody. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be talking about a lot about organics and why they're so critical for everything. And there's a lot of reasons to eat organics. We'll be discussing the difference between modern agriculture and sustainable organic farming using 3 points: environmental impact, impact on our health, and impact on the economy. But first, just a quick disclaimer. I think it has to wake up here. Okay. This class is not intended to diagnose, treat, or mitigate any disease. Dietary supplements and foods can interact with prescription medications. If you are taking a prescription medication, become informed about the possible interactions. So Natural Grocers was founded on 5 principles. And the first one is focusing on nutrition education, which is the purpose of this class and my job. We take pride in our health coaches. We have a health coach at every store. It's a very unique service to our company, being able to have a health coach on staff to provide that information for those seeking it. So number 2, we have high quality standards, and that this class also falls under that principle. We're going to be talking a lot about organics, and as a company, we only carry organic produce. So 100% organic produce in our produce department. We have high quality standards for our meat and seafood, dairy, and supplements as well. Number 3 is everyday affordable pricing. It's not always cheap to eat healthy, but we want to make it as affordable as possible. We have our customer appreciation program called Empower. We have special Empower pricing on eggs and some of our other products. And then we also have sales every month. We just got done with doing a 3-day anniversary sale last week. Every year, mid-August, we have our anniversary sale, and most items are going to be 40–50% off. So you're getting really good deals with that. Number 4, we support our local communities. And a lot of times we do this with donations to a food bank. for my store, it's Food Bank of the Rockies. And September is Organics Month, and every year we donate to, usually it's the Organic Farmers Association. This year we're going to be donating to Beyond Pesticides, and our goal is to raise $100,000 for them during the month of September. And you guys can help support that. Donate directly when you're going through the checkout, or if you purchase a bag, part of those proceeds will go to Beyond Pesticides for September. Number 5, we have great employees here, and we really strive to make sure we're providing world-class customer service to anybody that comes in, any of our customers. So, all right. So now we can get started with the class. And like I said before, there's a lot of reasons to eat organic, but it really boils down to 3 points: environmental impact, impact on our health, and impact on the economy. And these will be the 3 points that we will cover in the second part of our class. First, we'll need to really understand how modern agriculture works. The difference, the organic difference becomes very clear when problems with conventional non-organic agriculture is explained. So not so long ago, all fruits and vegetables we ate were organic, but artificial fertilizers were the first to be introduced around World War I. They were cheaper, powerful, and easy to transport. Similar advances happened with chemical pesticides in the 1940s. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the Green Revolution, and this refers to research and development of technology in between 1930 and 1960. It introduced new high-yielding varieties of cereals and new methods of cultivation, including the use of artificial fertilizers and chemical pesticides. Most crops in the US, that being 99%, use synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides, and fungicides. So what's the result from this? Over 22 million tons of fertilizer is used in the US annually. This results in the destroying of our water and soil, reducing biodiversity in ecosystems, and damaging human health. So let's take a closer look at those 3 points with modern agriculture right now. The first one being destroying our water sources. Fertilizers are applied to crops in the springtime. Rainfall causes the runoff into the environment, which alters ecosystems. Hypoxia areas, or also known as dead areas, is a result of runoff of nitrogen, which causes a overgrowth of algae that consumes the oxygen and leaches toxins, which destroys the marine ecosystem. Every spring, this happens in the Gulf of Mexico, right here, fairly close to us. And a recent study of dead zones found that there are over 550 dead zones worldwide. So this is happening all over the world. And it's not just fertilizers that damage our water supply. Only 1% of applied pesticides reach the so-called pests, with the other 99% entering the environment, mainly our groundwater. And the US Geological Survey's National Water Quality Assessment Program, that was a mouthful, revealed pesticides were detected in 97% of stream water samples and 61% of groundwater samples. And 50% of the world's population drinks from groundwater. So this is concerning, especially for those that live in agricultural areas. So what what actually happens to our ecosystems when chemicals are added to the crops? Well, as pests continue to develop new evasion tactics and resistance, we depend on stronger, more powerful chemicals. The US farmers use 700 million pounds of pesticides annually. That's more than double what was used 30 years ago and up to 100-fold more potent. Lot. These chemicals build up in the food chains. And so insects at the bottom get the chemicals, and then the birds and bats and other predators eat those insects. With a high enough concentrations, the animals are then poisoned, and they're finding this, owls and birds, and they're finding that a lot of animals die from this poisoning. And what about pollinators? A whopping third of the world's total food production rely on honeybees for pollination. In the US alone, it's estimated bees pollinate $15 to $20 billion worth of crops. I'd really like to be a bee right now. In 2006, beekeeper operations reported a loss of 30 to 90% of their colonies, which was termed the colony collapse disorder. This collapse is a result of many factors, but the use of insecticides has been associated with it. Next is the health of our soil. And there's lots of things that go into the health of soil. Soil microbes, carbon cycle, mineral and nutrient balance, and absorption of CO2. Pesticides destroy soil microbes. Fertilizers disrupt mineral balance. GM crops destroy soil fertility and require more chemicals. Plowing fields destroy topsoil, which releases carbon into the atmosphere. And beyond collateral damage to insects and ecosystems include the detrimental effects they have on human health. The research is very clear. Everyone is exposed to pesticides. 94% of the US population has pesticide breakdown products in their urine. And this has been linked to ADHD in children and cancer, some cancers, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's in adults. In addition, conventional fruits and vegetables are frequently contaminated with pesticides. Strawberries and apples are annual contenders for being the most contaminated. Now, this, I hope that gives you a good understanding of what modern agriculture does to our planet and us and our economy. And I could talk about this all day with the problems and all that kind of stuff, but that's not why you guys are here. You're here because you want to learn more about organic agriculture and an alternative to the mess we've made. So in the name of organics, let's start talking about organic agriculture. Organic agriculture is a production system that sustains the health of soils, ecosystems, and people. Organic agriculture originated in the early 20th century and continues to be developed by various organic agriculture organizations today. It relies on fertilizers like manure and compost, emphasizes on techniques like crop rotation, biological pest control, and fostering of insect predators is encouraged. Simply put, organic agriculture can be defined as an integrated farming system that strives for sustainability, the enhancement of soil fertility, and biological diversity while prohibiting synthetic pesticides, antibiotics, synthetic fertilizers, genetically modified organisms, and growth hormones. And that's putting it simply. And this is one of the reasons why I've personally fell in love with organic agriculture. It uses the environment to enhance productivity. It encourages birds, uses legumes to enrich the soil with nitrogen, uses techniques like rotating crops. And if you've ever been around an organic farm or garden, you hear the bees at work, the birds are flying around, worms are in the soil, spiders and praying mantis are natural pesticides. It's a relaxing energy. Ultimately, eating organic is better for you and better for the environment. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at what the research has to say. Organic farming is good for the planet. So it promotes a rich biodiversity, which is what I've been mentioning. Birds, insects, and worms, other pollinators, plant species. It's also in the soil. Food is only as healthy as its soil. Researchers compared CO2 content in soil from conventional and organic was found to have more CO2 levels. Microbial richness in soil of organic farms is also much greater. And without the use of synthetic chemicals, organic farming supports the health of our planet in general. Organic farming is good for you. A group of adults consumed a diet containing 80% of organic foods. After a week, the pesticide breakdown products in their urine decreased by 96%. Studies have been shown similar effects in children as well. Organics provide optimal nutrients. Plants make phytochemicals to protect themselves from pests. Those phytochemicals are antioxidants like vitamin C and E and polyphenols. When sprayed with insecticides and pesticides, they don't produce these phytochemicals. And the phytochemicals that they produce are also very important nutrients for us as people too. So if for organic foods, they're going to have that higher nutrient value. And let's look at this a little more. Studies have shown organics have greater phytochemical density. An example is cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower are rich in unique beneficial sulfur-containing compounds, and organics have higher levels of those compounds. And organics taste better. Research done at CSU found that the taste of organic apples was preferred over conventional. Similar studies have been done on strawberries too. And we've been focusing a lot on organic produce, but it should be pointed out that organic dairy and meat have been shown to be more nutrient dense than their conventional counterpart. They have a better omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, more CLA, which is a healthy fat found in a number of foods, but mainly red meat, more vitamins and antioxidants, and cows grazing on managed pastures is better for the environment and planet. Organics are good for the economy as well. While our food choices can drive important economic changes, they're also important for supporting the health of the environment, which we have already discussed earlier. But the environment and economy are intimately connected. Without a healthy environment, there cannot be a thriving economy. And history has proven this. With the destruction of the environment, it ushers in poverty, poor health, and conflict, none which support a thriving economy. So with sustainable practices such as integrated pest management and cover cropping, uh, it can save farmers money on inputs such as pesticides, fertilizers, fuel, and even labor costs. While attributes like organic, non-GMO, and grass-fed fetch farmers a premium in the marketplace. Organic farms can also provide quality jobs. Studies have shown organic farm workers are happier compared to conventional farm workers. This all makes it better for the community, the farmer, and global economy. With the recent success of the organic industry, grocery superstores are starting to carry organic options. Organic experts are worried that the sudden increase will weaken organic standards. Natural Grocers works very hard to support these organic standards and ensure that core values are maintained. We keep high standards for our products that we carry and don't follow trends. We usually start them. So when it comes to world hunger, it's not the lack of food. It's our planet already produces enough food to feed 10 billion people, and almost 40% of the food produced in the US is wasted. Hunger is caused by economic inequality. Despite this, the farming industry often cites the need to feed a growing population to justify the use of toxic synthetic chemicals. Rodale Institute's farming system trial compared organic to conventional farming for over 33 years. What they found is, in the long term, the yields are the same with the use of organic methods like multi-cropping and crop rotation. Looking at just the yields, organic farming can feed the world as effectively as conventional. Looking beyond the issue of organic or of yields, it becomes clear that regenerative organic farming is indeed the only way to feed the world in a way that encourages global health, especially economic equality, the true root of hunger. So to really sum up the whole class and the overall message, anytime you purchase foods that are organic, non-GMO, pastured, or grass-fed, you don't have to do it all the time. It's just anytime you purchase something with that label, you are actively encouraging the growth of a more sustainable food system in which we can all benefit. And there are lots of literature that you can go over, books that you can check out or purchase that will go over a lot of the information that I was going over in more depth. One of my favorites here listed is Eating on the Wild Side by Joe Robinson. She really lays out different classifications for each, different fruits and vegetables, how to properly prepare them, how to store them in the refrigerator, where to, the best way to purchase them and prepare them for foods to get to benefit from their nutrition value. So it's a really good book or a good reference book to kind of jump back to be able to do that. And we have a lot of customer literature files too on organic food. Talk about the impact on the economy. 9 reasons. We have one that's 9 reasons why to eat organic, and there's some good little tidbits of information that we have here at the store. Yeah. So let me get my video back on. We also real quick. So that's the end of the class. It was a little shorter of a class, but I hope it was good information for you guys to kind of start off. And, you know, really, I want you to be empowered to go seek out this information, seek out these books, to get your information and start kind of changing, hopefully implementing some organics into your grocery list. For attending the class, you guys will receive a $5 coupon. The catch is that obviously we're not in person, so you guys will have to come to me and just mention that you were part of this class, and I'll give you your $5 coupon. You do have to get it from me and not from another store. They won't know what you're talking about if you said you were a part of this class, since I was the one presenting it. You do have to get the coupon from me, but you can use the coupon at any store. You know, if one's closer, you drive over to me, grab it, and then you can use it anywhere. I do have an expiration date on it. It's September 4th, so that's 2 weeks from this Friday. So you have some time to come by, get it, and then use it. So there is the expiration date on there. If I'm not here, just ask for a manager and they'll be able to give you that coupon. But if you come in during the week, you can ask for me and I can give you that coupon for you guys for attending the class. So, and that's all I have. I think Claire has some books too that are available at the library for checkout as well.
I do. Thank you, Luke. We decided that since this was a shorter one, we'd also use the opportunity to highlight some of the library resources. So if you guys are looking for suggestions on how to use all the lovely organic food, I just pulled a couple of the cookbooks that look particularly appealing, that focus on, a lot of them focus on a plant-based diet, but all of them focus on fresh, whole, local, seasonal foods. And so when you stop in, if you've ever looked in our cookbook section, you know that we have lots and lots. And I will admit that I am often guilty of getting them and only flipping through to look at the lovely pictures and never actually following the recipes, but I do claim that it does give me ideas for when the next time I'm at the grocery store, I can say, oh, wait a minute, I saw a wonderful thing that used arugula and roasted carrots, and I don't remember what cookbook it was in, but I can find another recipe that does that. So ideas about ways to introduce more fresh foods into your diet, and, you know, really just lovely, lovely pictures of food. I have, my sister-in-law is infamous in the family for taking pictures of every meal before she eats it and posting them and making all of us very jealous as we sit over our reheated leftovers from 3 nights ago. She never does that, but I have noticed that her posting frequency has diminished considerably as my nephew has started getting into the toddling years and beyond. So all of these, this was about a 5-minute scan through the bookshelves downstairs in the 640s. We have new cookbooks arriving almost daily at the library. It's definitely a genre that there's plenty of, and feel free to ask any librarian for suggestions on vegetarian cooking, vegan cooking, paleo, keto. We've got all of it. And that was just a quick glance through. Remember that the library is open for browsing Tuesdays through Saturdays now, so you can stop in and actually look at the books on the shelves instead of trying to navigate the online catalog to figure out what to put on hold. That was all of mine. Looks like we have one comment in chat.
Yeah, if there's...
Janet, was that about the coupon, or what did you want sent? And if anybody has a question and they don't feel comfortable typing it in chat, you are welcome to unmute yourself and ask any questions of Luke about any of the presentation,
Yeah, I know I probably went through some of that information a little quick, and I was talking a lot, but yeah, if you have any questions about it, definitely, I won't bite.
All right, well, I'm not seeing any questions come in. I'm not. Okay, there we go. So Luke, are you seeing the chat?
Oh, favorite organic food to buy. I've been buying organic, well, I've been buying our blueberries a lot. And I actually have my little container of blueberries right here that I've been munching on all day, and they're so good right now. Our produce manager accidentally got pint-sized containers of blueberries instead of his normal, I think, like 5-ounce ones or something. So they're, I believe, 12 or 11-ounce containers, and so I got a couple of those, and they're really tasty. So I really like those right now.
I'll put my plug in for the organic mozzarella balls, the small little mozzarella, because I do caprese salads all summer long. That's my comfort food.
Nice.
And I happened to pick up a conventional one because that was where I was, and the texture reminded me of plastic after having done the organic ones from you guys. So the organic dairy is definitely worth, and honestly not that much more expensive considering how expensive the dairy products are at the regular supermarket. The organic mozzarella balls were my new favorite thing.
Nice. Good. Yeah, that was a good question.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? If not, we can go ahead and wrap up and have an early release day from class today.
We have another comment. It
Yes.
says, talk about milk a little. As far as like organic or pasture raised milk products, that's what all of our dairy products are pasture raised. So it's kind of the same thing with organic food, where you're going to be getting a lot more nutrients from the animals if they're fed properly, organic feed, or for cows, they're vegetarians. They're supposed to be eating grass, and so if they're out in the sunlight, happy and eating grass, their milk or dairy is going to be providing the optimal nutrients from that. So same kind of concept with produce, where, like I was mentioning, how they produce those phytochemicals to protect themselves, but then we get the benefit from those phytochemicals, like blueberries having all those antioxidants in there. And yeah, pasture raised cows are not given any hormones. So none of our products have hormones in there, hormones or antibiotics or anything like that. So yeah, and that's one of our big standards that we changed. I think like 2009, I think, was when we started changing that standard, and we got rid of a lot of popular yogurt brands because they weren't up to our standards. So we're not afraid to get rid of a product. We want those standards to be front line, first thing we think about, versus popularity and that kind of thing. So our standards, and we have a handout here on our standards for meat and dairy, and it talks about, and eggs, and it talks about the differences with that. So, but none of our products, meat, dairy, have any hormones that were administered to those animals. So that's also a good question. So. Cool. Yeah, I think we're good. I appreciate you guys for attending, and come by and get your coupon so you can spend it on some good food.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all so much for coming. Luke, thank you always for the presentation.
Yeah.
Keep watching our newsletter for upcoming programs. We will be having more with Luke presenting coming up in the fall. We're still figuring out which of the many excellent classes they offer we're going to choose next.
Yeah.
Please do keep up with that. And if you don't currently get our weekly digest email with our different programs, you can always call the library and ask to be signed up for that, or stop by the desk when you happen to be here. Thank you all so much. I'll go ahead and stop our recording.